Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to our study along of the World Order of Baha'u'llah. This is not a musical. Don't worry. Stay tuned. This is a reading of a collection of letters written by Shoghi Effendi to the Baha'is of the US and Canada in the 30s. If you're joining for the first time or anything that I'm sharing is new, like Baha'u'llah, Shoghi Effendi, Baha'i Faith, you may be interested in some of the links below. I have the launch video for this project to understand who I am, what this is, why I'm doing this, as well as some information about the Baha'i Faith, this document if you would like to read along, and the playlist of this weekly reading series so you can catch up if you want to and see what this is all about. If you're just diving in on a random YouTube stumble, welcome. Stay tuned. I think you might find this very interesting. I'm Jacqueline Claire. I'd like to remind you to subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button if you do. It'll just help other people find this. And always feel free to comment. I really enjoy the conversations and discourse we get going on down there in the comments. So today is perfectly timed. The section of the letter we're reading today is called America's Contribution to the Cause. And the cause is the Baha'i Faith. The cause is that of world unity and solidarity in a spiritual, grounded, and authentic sense. And it's so perfect because coming up we have the 4th of July. So I want to go ahead and wish you a happy and safe 4th of July celebration. I admit, growing up in Texas, 4th of July was never my favorite holiday because it's so dang hot. But as I have grown older and wiser, I've really come to appreciate what the 4th of July represents, this birth of this incredible country for all of our moral failings and flaws. I still don't know of any nation in the history of the world that has provided more freedom and possibility to more people on a continuous basis. And so I love this place. I'm very proud of it. And I really love the 70s musical, speaking of musicals, 1776. I really recommend it if you want to find it on Pluto TV or something. It's really fun if you can handle a little bit of 70s funky Broadway. But it's actually very funny and very educational. So if you want to stay inside and enjoy the AC and eat some popcorn, I recommend 1776. All right, my friends. So you ready to jump in to America's contribution to the cause? For great as have been the attainments and unforgettable the services of the pioneers of the heroic age of the cause in Persia, the contribution with which their spiritual descendants, the American believers, the champion builders of the organic structure of the cause, are now making towards the fulfillment of the plan which must usher in the golden age of the cause, is no less meritorious in this strenuous period of its faith. Isn't that wild? That what does he call it exactly? The strides that we are making are no less, the attainments are no less meritorious than the martyrs of the faith. That to contribute, of course this was the 30s, but I'd like to think it still applies a little bit, to contribute to the building of the administrative order. Last week we talked about the blood of the martyrs or sprouting this seed that has been transplanted to the West that is now the administrative order, and that it's as meritorious to give our lives to play a part in this very much more kind of mundane feeling, but hugely important process of building up the structure of this cause. Few, if any, I venture to assert, among these privileged framers and custodians of the constitution of the cause of Baha'u'llah are even dimly aware of the preponderating role which the North American continent is destined to play in the future orientation of their world-embracing cause. Nor does any appreciable number among them seem sufficiently conscious of the decisive influence which they already exercise in the direction and management of its affairs. The continent of America, wrote Abdu'l-Baha in February 1917, is in the eyes of the one true God, the land wherein the splendors of his light shall be revealed, where the mysteries of his faith shall be unveiled, where the righteous will abide and the free assemble. I'm just going to read that one more time. The continent of America is in the eyes of the one true God, the land wherein the splendors of his light shall be revealed, where the mysteries of his faith shall be unveiled, where the righteous will abide and the free assemble. That the supporters of the cause of Baha'u'llah throughout the United States and Canada are increasingly demonstrating the truth of this solemn affirmation is evident to even a casual observer of the record of their manifold services, whether in their individual capacities or through their concerted endeavors. The manifestations of spontaneous loyalty which marked their response to the expressed wishes of a departed master, the generosity with which they have on more than one occasion arisen to lend a helping hand to the needy and harassed among their brethren in Persia, the vigor with which they have resisted the shameless attacks which unrelenting enemies, both from within and without, have with increasing frequency launched against them, the example which the body of their national representatives have set to their sister assemblies in fashioning the institutions, the instruments essential to the effective discharge of their collective duties, their successful intervention on behalf of their persecuted fellow workers in Russia, the moral support they have extended to their Egyptian fellow disciples at a most critical stage in their struggle for emancipation from the fetters of Islamic orthodoxy, the historic services rendered by those intrepid pioneers who, faithful to the cause of Abdu'l-Baha, forsook their homes to plant in the uttermost corners of the globe the standard of his faith. And last but not least, the magnificence of their self-sacrifice, culminating in the completion of the superstructure of the Mashra Lascar. These stand out each as an eloquent testimony to the indomitable character of the faith of Baha'u'llah has kindled in their hearts. Who, contemplating so splendid a record of service, can doubt that these faithful stewards of the redeeming grace of God have preserved, undivided and unimpaired, the priceless heritage entrusted to their charge? Have they not, one might well reflect, in ways which only future historians will indicate, approach the high standard that characterized those deeds of imperishable renown accomplished by those that have gone before them, not by the material resources which the members of this infant community can now summon to their aid, not by the numerical strength of its present-day supporters, nor by any direct, tangible benefits its votaries can as yet confer upon the multitude of the needy and the disconsolate among their countrymen, should its potentialities be tested or its worth determined. Nowhere but in the purity of its precepts, the sublimity of its standards, the integrity of its laws, the reasonableness of its claims, the comprehensiveness of its scope, the universality of its program, the flexibility of its institutions, the lives of its founders, the heroism of its martyrs, and the transforming power of its influence, should the unprejudiced observer seek to obtain the true criterion that can enable him to fathom its mysteries or to estimate its value. All right, my friends, thank you so much for studying with me. This is such an enriching experience to hold myself accountable and get to share with you in the process. I hope that listening and watching helps you deepen. It's a supplement to your own study, or even a bit of a passive study, which I think there's definitely nothing wrong with that, to just listen while you're doing other things. And one day you will find that we read the world order together. So very exciting. Thank you for joining me in this journey. Once again, I wish you a fun and safe holiday weekend. And until next week, I wish you the best for playing your unique part in making this world a better place. Catch you next time.